Dear mathematics in the modern world, you've taught me that logic is invincible. Because in order to fight logic, it is necessary to use logic. The language of mathematics makes me use them to analyze the sense of ordinary sentences, test arguments for validity, and construct proofs for complex arguments for which the validity isn't obvious. To me, logic is essentially the study of reasoning or argumentation. We use reason all the time to draw inferences that are useful to us. The reasoning here is simple, but sometimes chains of reasoning can become quite complex. Unlike the calculator, which is adept into finding the precise digits and units, logic delves into the abstract and connects the dots possible, evaluating all arguments and finds sound and validity to form a conclusion. Fallacies, fake news, persuasion, criticism, ad hominem, bandwagon. All of these leaves a lot of holes in inductive and deductive reasoning. On the contrary, this trend toward believing everything we hear is why the need for logical thinking is more crucial than ever. As a student, I always aim to achieve the highest grade on all of my subjects while saving money for the cheapest or best valued meal for the day. There's also me having to manage my group mates for next week's report. Do I leave out my time for going out and focus it on studying? Should I go to the nearest 7-Eleven for siopaw? Or do I make the most out of the hot dogs on Ministop, which is far but a bit cheaper? To whom do I split the task of researching and creating the PowerPoint? Do I give the task to Noel or do I give the task to Andrea? It makes me realize that there are two important but limited resources to me: time and money. However, the answers to my questions as a student lie on efficiency. How can I make the most out of something given with what so little I have? To avoid wasting limited resources, to minimizing or maximizing a material, to finding the shortest path. For assignment problems, mathematics applies itself in my everyday life as a student through efficiency.
You've taught me that mathematics is the most important tool that humans can use in making our decisions. Decisions that affect not only our lives, but the lives of who live in this society. When a society makes decisions, what factors does it consider? Is everyone represented? Is it fair for everyone involved? What do we need to consider before making a decision? You've taught me how to answer these questions with the use of different criterions and methods. These methods allow us to arrive at logical conclusions that satisfy every party involved. Unlike other methods, the science of mathematics is always certain and does not make mistakes. It uses criterions and methods that always result in the best possible decision. While society does not always arrive at the best decision, mathematics can help us arrive there.
Once upon a time, I had a best friend. His name was Rob, the credit card, and he was the world to me. We would do everything together, from shopping online to our daily Grab rides. Until one day, I got a call from the bank that they wanted him back. So there I was, I went to the bank, and there I stood as I watched my best friend get cut into two. Oh, the horror it was. Apparently, my bank account was in the red. Something was responsible for it, an enemy called interest. There I was, broken and alone. I was at the end of my rope, at the end of my string. But just as I was ready to end it all, that's where you found me, Math in the modern world. You taught me all about this enemy, about the two types of interest, simple and compound. And now I have never been more ready. You taught me about the world of banking and stocks. When you told me that I can earn money yearly just by leaving money in a savings account, my mind was literally blown away. Then you told me about the secrets of the stock markets, about blue chip companies and preferred stocks, and it made me even more confident in my spending. Now, whenever I open a new bank account or go to Wall Street, I will be immune to their sales stock. In fact, I have already invested in some stocks right now, but it became apparent I still have a lot to learn. It was all thanks to you, GEMAT. Uplifting, eye-opening, and satisfying. Those are the three words I will describe you, my love. Some might find your other topics too hard, but to me, it was all the right difficulty. And you made me appreciate not just math, but the world itself. And for that, I love you. Now, if you must excuse me, I must go and smash my piggy bank and invest it in, well, let's say a company I'm sure I won't lose cash on.
Ever since the turn of the 21st century, the internet has made a huge impact upon the world. What we call the information age is possible thanks to digital communications. Anywhere in the world, information is sent from all over the world to the internet where anyone with access can see it. Digital communications passes borders and nations, talking face to face through video, seeing images from somewhere else to photos, or simply the act of messaging through social media. Thanks to mathematics, it is possible to do all of these things online through the act of communication, especially in the presence of this looming crisis. People who might not know math well enough may think that communicating digitally is possible without it. Through simple ones and zeros, people would never have guessed it led to the advancement of technology. These simple ones and zeros, when arranged into different sequences, is how we're able to relay information from anywhere in the world. Digital communication is just the process of communication through a different medium. There must always be a sender and a receiver, where in between a message is encoded in sequences of bits of 1 and 0, which is transmitted through a channel and is relayed through decoding the transmission as close as possible. As someone from this time and age, I am truly grateful to mathematics my whole life. I am fascinated with how the world around me revolves around numbers and loved learning more about how mathematics shape the world.
To Mr. Matt, who taught me that everything mystical in this world is not only based on science, but is also because of you, Mr. Matt. As I grew up, you enlightened my world to see it mathematically, not only because it happens for a reason, but to analyze why it is the way that it was created. You taught me that everything should be measured accurately and with a proper proportionality to create a strong, pleasant, and extravagant outcome. Without proportionality, everything will be crumbled, unbalanced, and unpleasant for our eye, especially when you introduced to me the golden ratio, that everything in this world has an exact measurement for a reason, like our human body. A good example of golden ratio, because everything is proportionate, there is no part that is longer or shorter than the other. Instead, it complies to the golden ratio. That is why most of the artists use the golden ratio, because it makes the artwork more pleasant. The structure is balanced. Also, the Fibonacci numbers, which are 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, etc., explains why nature has different numbers and their characteristics, like a clover leaf, which has 3 petals because 3 is included in the Fibonacci number. And that is why people say that when you find a 4 clover leaves, it means that you are very lucky because 4 is not included in the Fibonacci numbers. That is why a 4 clover leaf is very rare. Because of this, I realized that everything in this world is not because it is the way it looks like, but there is a reason why these things were created, and the mathematics can explain it why.
There you have it, Matt. You have touched all of us with your lessons and concepts, and we truly wish that you continue to touch other people in the future just like you have touched us. From the bottom of our hearts, we love you.